Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another weekly setup. So I'm about to analyze over 20 pairs using the FX Set and Forget strategy, and these are the best pairs we'll be taking for this new week. So coming over to my screen right now. So the very first pair we have here is the one of last week. So there's not going to be a trade recap for this week because I am still holding this trade, which was Euro AUD. Right, this is the exact same trade that Alex G closed about 600,000 or 400,000 last week, right? But my own stop loss was above this high right here. So I'm pretty much still holding this trade. I don't have any decision to make on this trade just yet, right? So that will be the first pair. I'll continue to hold this trade. So the next pair, let's see what we have. AUD USD. So let's start with the daily time frame. Alright, AUD USD daily time frame market structure is well, I can't really read it very clearly. I don't know if this is the higher high. Technically the market structure is still bearish, but it's looking bullish. I'm not interested in this market. Let me see how the forward looks. I'm not interested in this market. Next pair, GPBUSD. Alright, so GPBUSD last week we were actually waiting for price to have a break and retest under this area to sell, right? But price never really broke under the area. We are just waiting and price shifted bullish, as you can see right here, had the retracement engulfing to buy. I saw people who caught this trade right here, but I did not actually catch this trade. It's not like I did not see it. The reason is because my bias for the week was sales, not buys, right? So I cannot just be changing my bias at the middle of the week, right? So that's why I did not take this trade. But let us see what we have right now. Daily time frame. Well, let's delete everything. Daily time frame pretty much just shifted bullish right now, right? On a normal day, we are supposed to wait for like a retracement back into this last previous structure point to buy, but I'm not thinking that will happen. Let me explain why. Let me go to the weekly first. Let's just see if weekly is bullish. Alright, so weekly is actually bullish. So last week was really bullish for GBP USD. So let me show you what I'm thinking on the 4-hour on the daily time frame. We have an area of interest right here that I can see right now. So let me extend it all the way to the left to see how many rejections we can get from that area. Alright, so from this area of interest, you can see multiple rejections. Let me just make it a little bit more clearer. One rejection right here, not so clean. It's not so clean. Okay, so here's my thought process on GBP USD. This market is at very strong resistance level right now, right? And price is currently around that area, but market structure on the daily and on the weekly is bullish. So we expect that we should continue the bullish momentum, right? But we kind of need that retracement for us to feel confident on taking the buys, right? So here is what will make sense the most, but I don't think it will happen this week. We need at least a retracement before the break of the area of interest. Then at the retracement back into the area of interest, we can now look for reasons to buy, right? Until that happens, I don't think I'll be interested in buying from here instead. I'll actually be buying above this area because that is a strong area of resistance, right? So, but I don't think this market is going to happen this week. So I'll not be paying attention to this market for this week. I'll just put it on the sidelines to see how it plays out. Euro USD next pair, very similar price action, but this has a much more cleaner market structure, right? So let me show you what we have. We are still going to be using this area of interest that is on the chart right now, which is this one right here. This area of interest, right? Now market structure was bearish at this point, but this week we broke above area of interest, right? And we have a very strong area of resistance and support of interest. We have a very strong area of interest on the daily time frame. Great. Now we also have a break above the area of interest. We'll potentially wait for a retracement back into this area right here to continue buying. Now this trade, because market structure is bullish on Euro USD, this my trade on Euro AUD shows that Euro is actually very strong, right? I'm actually lose that trade on Euro AUD. Well, we'll just continue to set and forget to see what happens. But Euro USD is bullish on the daily time. This right here was the lowest point, so that is the lower low, and this was the lower high of that time until this week came in and it broke above this high, making this now the new higher high. This right the new higher high, and this right here the new higher low. Our area of interest is supposed to be within this high and this low, which is this area of interest right here. So we are looking for a retracement back into this area to buy. Weekly time frame is technically still bearish. On weekly time frame is technically still bearish. 4-hour time frame is actually still bullish, but we need that retracement back into area of interest. So once 4-hour time frame is getting back into the area of interest, it's going to shift bearish. So until that time, until price gets back to area of interest, then we'll know what information the market gives us for us to be able to buy. But I like this market, but I don't think it's really going to happen this week. So I'll just keep it for this week, but I don't think it's going to happen this week. GPP card is another pair. So GPP card was a pair I was calling last week. I was looking to sell this market if we have a break and retest under daily area of interest, right? That's why my alert is right here, because I was waiting for price to get under this area, which never happened. And that was the trade that Allergy took, the first trade last week.
I just lost $195,000. Pretty embarrassing, right? As you can tell, GBP CAD I entered straight into stop loss. But I told you guys I had a plan, and I'm currently now up $680,000 on Euro AUD, which I've been calling it for the last 2 weeks. Same exact left head, right shoulders, break and retest, and then sell.
That was a loss, right? In our own case, we happened to avoid the loss because I was looking for a more clean break and retest. Not like the trade was not good, it's just that I was trying to be a little bit more careful, right? So right now, let us see what we have on this market. So we are going to be deleting everything. So let's see. Now the daily time frame is now clearly bullish. It was bearish, right? And it has slowed down. That's why we were looking for sales. But right now it's clearly bullish, so we need a new area of interest for this market. This right here now is now the new higher high, as you can tell, and this right here is now the new higher low. We need our area of interest within this level, right? So since I can already see rejections from this area, I'll try to see if I can extend it to the left and get more rejections. As you can see, we have 1 rejection, 2 rejection right here, 3 rejection, which makes the area of interest very valid, and the 4th rejection. So GBP card, I'm technically going to be waiting for a retracement back into this area to continue buying, right? To continue buying. So that's that for GBP card. Until price gets to area of interest, we'll have more data to tell us if we can actually buy from this area. But that is the area that looks cleanest, right? I haven't gotten any pair so far that looks like we're going to take it early next week. Every other pair right here still looks like it might not really happen this week, right? So let's see, NZD USD, another pair. Let's see what we have. We delete everything on the chart and see. Now this market structure technically is bullish because this right here was the lowest point at the time, which makes this the lower low, and this right here is the lower high for that. As soon as price broke above, it simply means that we need a new higher high because we just broke above that level, and this is the higher high, and this right here is the higher low for that. For us to be able to buy in this bullish market, we need a lower high, right, to continue buying. So I will look for an area of interest here on the daily time frame. Let's see. There's no very clear visible area of interest. Let me see. This is the only possible area of interest right here. So let's see. We have one rejection from this area. Somewhat of it, two rejection, not so clean. Three rejection from this area and four rejections from this area. So this might actually be the only point where we can buy this market from. But I'm also not happy because of the EMA. The EMA is still looking bearish. So if we can get back to area of interest right here, I need the market to slow down once we get to this area so that the EMA can catch up and then start shifting structural bullish for us to buy this market. Do I think this market is going to happen this week? I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to have the entire move this week, because what we are looking for is a retracement back into this area and a slowdown before the buy, right? And if you look at this break right here, this took 1, 2, 3, 4 days, right? And we have 5 trading days next week. So if we even if we have one day that came back to the area and we need slowdown, that will be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, before the shift of structure on the 4-hour time frame and the 1-hour time frame before we buy. Then that will now take an extra 3 days to get to this level right here. So I don't think it's really going to happen this week, right? But this is the trade idea that makes sense the most on this market. So we are going to be going over to the next pair. Let's just take a break and see what we have on gold. Gold daily time frame, technically bullish, because this is the lower low, lower high, broke above, right? But not so clean. Let us see. Here's what I'm thinking. Let me explain what I'm thinking right here. So we have an area that price have pretty much respected before, right? Now let me go to the 4-hour to see if we have cleaner market structure there. Now on the 4-hour, price is actually bullish, right? This right here is the highest high, higher low, right? And you can look from the EMA, you can see that EMA is holding price as support, right? So what makes sense the most in this market? So let me extend this area of interest to accommodate all these highs right here. Good. Now that we have accommodated all these highs, what we are going to be looking for on gold is a clean break and retest. If we can break above this high, even better. If you can break above this high and have a retracement back into this area, we can potentially catch the buy. Let me look at how the 1-hour time frame will look like. 1-hour time frame. 1-hour time frame is pretty much the same price action, right? So pretty much a break and retest. This might not be that big. Pretty much a break and retest like this on the 1-hour time frame to buy gold, right? So that's what I'm looking to see. I might not really take gold. It just depends. NZD card next pair. We haven't gotten any pair that I like so much for next week. I don't know why. Seems like most of the market shifted bullish this last week. This market was bearish, NZD card, and it shifted bullish with momentum this last week, right? So daily time frame right now is bullish. Again, we are going to be needing a retracement. Let me just look for an area of interest. This might be the area of interest. We have one rejection from this area. We have 2, 3, 4, 5 rejections from this area, 6 rejections from this area. So GBP card, we need like a retracement back into this area to buy. We'll just keep it close. It's not ready. USD card. All right, let us see what we have on USD card. USD card market structure is now bearish because this was a higher high, higher low. Market is now bearish. Weekly time frame, market is bullish. 4-hour time frame, I'm not interested in USD card. AUD card. Let's look at the daily time frame. Come a little bit closer. AUD card is at the highest high or the higher high right here, and there's pretty much no price action within this area right here. So I'll not really be interested in AUD card next week. AUD JPY. AUD JPY is currently bearish, but we also do not have an area of interest. So I'll not be interested in AUD JPY. Let's look at the 4-hour time frame before we proceed. I'm not interested in AUD JPY. NZD JPY. Let's delete everything. Daily time frame. Once I finish analyzing, I'm going to go back to these pairs again and see if I'm missing any trade here. But this market structure are shifting bullish. It was bearish, as you can see right here, and it's just shifted bullish again, right? So it might be very difficult to find a trade this week. We have an area of interest here on the daily time frame on NZD JPY, and the market structure on the daily time frame is bullish, right? So we have daily bullish. Let's see how the weekly looks. Weekly is tight, but weekly is bullish. This is the higher high, this is the higher low, right? Okay, and 4-hour time frame, let's see. Okay, 4-hour time frame is also bullish, so we need a retracement back into this area to buy. Again, might not really, well, it might happen or might not happen this week. It just depends. So I'll keep it close. I'll just keep it close. All right, GBP market structure right now is currently bearish, right? Market structure right now is currently bearish. This is the lower low right here, and the lower high for that is this right here. But do I believe this market could sell? It doesn't look like it could sell because the momentum of this market is going up, right? If you are going to be buying from here, the final take profit of this market is going to be all the way here, and price has not gotten there yet, right? I believe this market could continue buying, but I might not be interested in taking it just because the market structure is bearish. Weekly time frame is also bearish, and the 4-hour time frame is actually bullish, right? Actually bullish. Now I could have been looking for a counter trend trade setup here, but we can't even see an area of interest on the 4-hour time frame, so we can't really take this pair. So next pair, Euro JPY. You guys should ignore all these risk to reward ratio 2 on my chart. I was actually backtesting. So Euro JPY is pretty much at the highest point in the market, right? We could look for a retracement to around this level to potentially buy, but do I think it's going to happen this week? I don't think it's going to happen this week, because once we get back to area of interest, we still need like 2 days to slow down, and it might still take another 2 days to actually get to area of interest. Then we need like another 3 days to buy the market and hold till final take profit target, right? Which is not going to be happening this next week. So this next week might actually be a very boring week, to be honest. 4-hour time frame is also very bullish. You need a very, very deep retracement back into area for us to buy. Not interested. Similar price action with GPP-JPY, pretty much at the highest point of the market right now, right? So I am not interested in GBP-JPY. AUD GBP AUD. Okay, so GBP AUD daily time frame technically is bullish, right? This was the lowest point of the market, and the lower high for that is this right here. As soon as we break above this high, market has shifted structure to bullish. Now, if this is the higher high, then the higher low for that is this one right here. So that's what's making the market structure bullish. So now what we need is an area of interest on the daily time frame at least to be able to buy. And the area I can see right here has exactly 3 rejections, right? So let me go to the left and see if there's any other data. Now I don't really like using very far price action just like this, but it seems like price rejected from that area somewhere in 2024. Too far though, but it just makes the area of interest valid, right? Okay, so that's one information. Bullish daily time frame is bullish. Now weekly time frame, well, weekly time frame technically is still bearish, right? We can come a little bit closer to kind of see if this is lower than this, but I'm not going to be doing that. To me, it's pretty much around the same price, right? It's pretty much around the same price. So I'll still be calling weekly time frame bearish. Now let's see how the forward looks. Okay, finally one trade that makes sense. Now 4-hour time frame is technically bearish, right? Technically bearish. So, but the overall market structure is bullish, right? So here's what I plan on doing. I need like a break of this area right here and another break of this area right here. So I'll explain it before we proceed, right? I'll explain it before we proceed. So what I'm technically looking for is like a rejection first, a break, and a retracement to potentially buy this market, right? Because 4-hour is bearish, as you can see, this is the lower low and this is the lower high. If price can close above, that will make this the new higher high and this is the higher low, making the market structure bullish with the daily time frame. So we will now have the 2 time frame in sync after the break, right? Then at the retracement, we can look for reasons on the 1-hour time frame to buy. So this is the first pair I'm willing to take this week. USD JPY next pair. Let's see what we have. USD JPY market structure is really all over the place. I can't really tell, but this market structure is actually bullish, right? It's actually bullish, but it's clearly going up, going down, going up, going down. Might not really give us the 1:2 we're looking for, right? So that's that. Weekly time frame is pretty much at a high. I don't like the market. That's just the conclusion. I don't like USD JPY chart. Euro GPP. Euro GBP. Let's see what we have there. Okay, so weekly time frame. This is weekly time frame, right? Weekly time frame shifted bearish, and okay, weekly time frame is bearish right now. Daily time frame. Daily time frame is technically bullish, and 4-hour time frame is bearish. So we don't even have 2 time frame in sync, right? We don't even have the 2 time frame in sync. So next pair, Euro NZD. All right, Euro NZD daily time frame is come a little bit close. Daily time frame is bullish, right? Okay. No clean area of interest on the daily for now. Let's see how the forward looks. All right, also no clean area of interest on the 4-hour time frame. So again, we are not going to be taking this market, but I actually believe that this market could potentially trade all the way to this level right here. all the way to these structural points right here. Right, I just wish we had an area of interest to be able to trade this, but we don't even have the area of interest, so there'll be no need to actually trade that. GBP All right, so GBP market structure on the daily is bullish, right? Weekly time frame is bearish, and the 4 hour time frame, okay, the 4 hour time frame is bullish on GBP. Now, even if the 4 hour time frame is bullish, I don't like this kind of market that has too many wicks to the top or and the bottom. If you look here, you can see wick to the top, like every single candle have like a very long wick, right? You, from other candle try from other charts, you can see that the market is just moving. It has wick to the top or to the bottom, but it's not as long as GBP. Now, this kind of trades might give you entry signal for you to buy and then just wick you out, and it doesn't mean that you are wrong. It's just that the market is just known for creating wicks, too many wicks to the top and to the bottom. So I'll not be interested in risking that, right? So that's that for GBP CHF. CAD JPY, last pair. Okay, so CAD JPY daily time frame is bearish. Okay, daily time frame is bearish. Why? Because is it bearish? Yes, it's bearish. So because this right here is the lower low, and this right here is the lower high. All right, now weekly time frame is actually bullish. 4 hour time frame is actually bullish. So we don't have two time frame in sync on CAD JPY. So we don't even have much market this week. So let us just recap on the trades that we're going to be taking this week again for the last time. So the first market we have is GBP which might actually be the only market that I love for this week. So let me explain it again. The time frame is bullish on the daily, right? Bullish time frame. 3 rejections from area of interest, which was current data. So from February to April, we had 3 rejections from this area, right? Then if you go all the way to around Tuesday, April and July, in 2024 we had 2 strong rejections from that area, which by the way bought significantly, right? So now because of that, I'm interested in this market. Now let's look at how the weekly looks again. I'm trying to remember. Now weekly time frame last week was bearish, right? Well, we don't have much data on the weekly time frame actually. And if I move this area of interest to the left again, we still had multiple rejection from that area. So that is that. 4 hour time frame now. All we can tell from 4 hour time frame is that the market was bullish, and since it shifted structure bearish, then it means the market was bearish all the way to this point, right? For us to shift bullish again to be interested in buying, which will make the 4 hour time frame bullish and the daily time frame bullish, we need this break right here, and EMA is going to be holding price as support at that point of the break, right? So we need this break right here, a retracement back into the last previous structure point on the 4 hour time frame for us to potentially buy. So this might actually be the only trade I actually do like for next week, right? Every other trade is not as if they're bad, it's just that they're not going to play out this week, right? EURUSD, we need a deeper retracement to buy, and we need that retracement on the daily time frame. So we still need daily time frame to have a retracement back into this area for us to buy. NZD JPY, we need a retracement back into this area to buy. NZD card, we need a retracement back into this area to buy. And I'm still holding Euro AUD, right? So we might actually just add gold for this week, depending on how many opportunities we get though. Which market is this one? GPBUSD. We need like a break and retest to buy. Not interested in that market this week. NZD also need a retracement to this area to buy. All these trades might not really happen next week, right? Might not happen as soon as next week. So that's why I'm not really adding all of them for this week. I'll just be paying attention to some of them, right? So that's pretty much it. I'll make a shorter version of this video to kind of explain the pairs I'm willing to take again for this week. And I'll see you guys in next week, in the next week setups.